This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Are you ready? I said, are you
ready? It's Eric Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
Thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pro. There's Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, everybody.
Do we even bother with the rigmarole at this point? I don't know. I touched nothing. It was just sitting here, and this is whatever. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, you're the one. Do us a kindness. I never get it right. It still didn't get it right. It's over there. Put us in the number one position on the presets. It means something to the company. They don't tell us what, and I don't think we see a dime from that, but that's what we're told to say. And as long as we say that, they're happy, and we can move along with our lives. If you're over on Apple and Spotify, do us a kindness, leave us a positive review. It does help out the program. I still can't figure out how to access the reviews over on Spotify. I'm told they're there. I've had other people say they've seen them there, and they sent me a screenshot. I don't know how to access them. I've been trying, but apparently they're there. So do us a kindness, leave us some positive reviews. Like I said, it does help out the program. If you're going to join us live each and every week as we do this monstrosity of a show, YouTube and Twitch are our live rooms, all under It's Eric Nagel. Go like and subscribe there to let you know when we're on. And if you can only watch this stuff whenever you can get to it, look, I get it. We all have lives. You just go over to the YouTube channel. Everything's over there. Easy to point, click, and enjoy. A couple of other things involving the YouTube channel. We said last week we're over 4,700 subscribers. That's pretty decent feat for this small channel where we haven't really been doing much than the content for that. But here's the big milestone. We broke 1 million views on the channel.
That's awesome.
Well, this calls for a celebration. I will.
We spared no expense on that to celebrate. 1 million views on the channel. Thank you all from the cockles of our heart. Maybe
sir,
the cockles.
Someone bought your book.
I'm trying to do a Dennis Leary reference. You're continuing the Simpsons reference. We'll just call it a wash and move on. Good. So yes, go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. We do appreciate your patronage over there. Nothing else involving the radio company. Nobody ever responds anymore, so I don't know.
Nope.
Good on them, I guess.
Keep taking our stapler and moving us to the basement. No one
we
knows
had we had some people writing out they're going to be at New York Comic Con next week, and we are not going to be there this year. I think this is the first time since 2014 that we're not doing the show from New York Comic Con. It's gotten to be a bit of a kerfluffle, pardon the harsh language, over there. More and more difficult to do any kind of interviews, and a lot of the big talent that shows up there, they're there to do their panels, and then they're paid by the other company that does the I forgot the name of the company, but it does all the photos and the autograph stuff.
Yeah.
And they're there paid for that. They're paid for so they won't do open press to anybody else. So there's a lot of celebrities there, but you can't go and talk to them about the things they're working on. They're charging, $2,000 to $1,000 depending on the talent for photos and autographs and all that stuff. And I'm looking at the lineup, and people were pulling out. I know just John Bernthal just had to pull out. I got that notice the other day, and then a couple other people are pulling out because of scheduling conflicts now. And look, if you're going there to shop and peruse and just enjoy yourself, it's fine. It's still good for that. But for doing interviews and doing the show over there anymore, last year was difficult. We made it happen, but we got some good stuff. But this year, I was looking at it, I was like, this is just going to be impossible. And why am I going to hang around the Javits Center for 4 days if nothing's going to happen? Like on the hopes, I would go in there and I'd have so many confirmations that we would have to pick and choose. And I know that used to drive Gittles nuts when he was still doing the show. We'd have a whole spreadsheet of like, well, these things are overlapping. So now we have to pick and choose which interviews we want to do. And I said, all right, we're going to scrap that one and do this. But I wanted to go to that one. Then you go to that one. Take a recorder and go over there and you go talk to it. But them, whatever. it just got to be too, and now it's just like there was nothing there worth doing it this year. Maybe next year, I don't know, but it's really showing, and we're going to get into this later, about the insanity of price increases all over the place, because the packages that they were offering for, and we get press passes, so we're not paying for like 4-day passes, VIP stuff, panels, all of those things, way out of control. And
I think a 4-day pass was like almost $300 per person.
To get near any of the celebrities now, it's super expensive. It's not even like reasonable anymore, where it's like, it's $50, you get a photo or and an autograph or something like that, or and even up to $100 isn't too bad depending on the person it is. But when you start getting like these major talent there, which is great, but like if Patrick Stewart was there, anyone from the hierarchy of Star Trek or Star Wars, hundreds of dollars and you're waiting online just to get a photo that you don't even take. Like they take the photo for you, and you got to either come back when it's printed out, or if you paid for the digital, like they sell you the same photo 6 ways to Sunday.
Well, it sucks because after COVID hit, a lot of these cons now, to protect the artists and protect people from getting sick, they always put that clear plexiglass between you. So you're always that like one step removed from the photo you paid for. So it's like, I'm not going to pay for this.
I would never do that. If even during the pandemic, if you're spending like a few $100 to go see some kind of movie star, television star, whatever, it's like, all right, you got to stand between this plexiglass. Fuck that. It's not worth the money. It's not like I need to hug the person or we have to shake hands like we're friends or anything, but you should be able to stand next to a person for the amount of money that you're paying just to get a formal portrait, I guess, of what they're doing for the amount of money that you're paying. I don't need to sit there with plexiglass. And it's not like, I forgot where I was a couple years ago. Michael J. Fox was there, and it was during a time he wasn't doing very well. So he was in a wheelchair, right? Yeah. Because he couldn't stand that long. So they didn't have you hanging on top of him with the wheelchair. You were standing next to the wheelchair, but it's just like he's there in the wheelchair and you're doing this. That I fully understand. I get it.
They did that here in Phoenix with Stan Lee, where he was just sitting in a chair and you just got to stand near his chair. You couldn't touch him. You couldn't put your arm around him. You just literally just stand next to his chair as he stared off into the middle distance.
Yeah. But when you have these things here, it's like the actress is perfectly fine from whatever sci-fi show that you like or movie, and you're standing between plexiglass and she's like pretending to knock on that. It's like, no, I'm not spending $300 to get that shit of a photo. Anyway, I see our friend in the studio in the chat here. And why wouldn't that be on? Of course. Here we go.
Annoyed Wawa supervisor.
There he is. It's only acceptable for wrestlers because some people haven't yet discovered the rag on a stick. Well, the wrestlers are still affordable. Like some of them, if the likes of Hulk Hogan, when he was still around, he would do it at his surf shop or certain places like that. But you're spending $250 for Hulk Hogan. Like The Rock won't do that because The Rock's a movie star now, so you won't see him in those positions. But like if Stone Cold is there, The Undertaker, it makes sense to spend that money to get the photo because it usually includes an autograph too or something. But you're spending a few $100, you're getting what you pay for, right? Doing it at Comic Cons, spending that amount of money, it's because a formal portrait company brought them in to take the photos, and that's where they're making their money back by jacking up the photos, because you get the photo, you got to wait for the printout, and then depending on what size you want, you got to pay for that size. And if you want the digital copy, you got to pay another fee so that they email it to you so that you have the digital thing. And anyway, fuck all of that. New York Comic Con, we're not doing it this year. We've enjoyed our time. Jesus Christ. Yeah, decade, 11 years. This would be year 11. So 10 years doing New York Comic Con. Maybe we'll go back next year if things change a little bit, but it also feeds into that theory we've been talking about for years, ever since E3 went down, that the cons are not what they used to be.
Yeah. And I think we have a LA Comic Con happening this weekend.
They're not as affordable for people, for fans, for families to go to anymore. And when you start pricing out fans and family like that because, this is a prestige event, then the whole thing's going to collapse. And we're going to get into this in a little bit because there's problems with WWE. There's problems with Xbox, with Disney. Live Nation is now becoming a bigger issue than they have been in the past, decade, 15 years for their monopoly of how they run things. We'll get into all that in just a few minutes. If I'm kind of doing this weird face thing throughout the show, I had to get a root canal yesterday, and I only got part 1 of it done. Part 2 is not till next week.
Oh, sequels suck.
So I went on Monday to cleaning. Like every 6 months, you have a dental cleaning, right? So I go, no big deal. They do what they do. They give you a goodie bag that I throw out in the garbage as I'm walking out of the office, and go amongst my day.
Did you get your Batman toothbrush and kid-sized toothpaste?
Yeah, it's because whoever sponsors it's usually like Colgate, which is
Colgate, Crest, whatever. Yeah,
is a terrible toothpaste. So I go there just expecting the cleaning. They said, "Oh, we have to do a 3D mapping of your mouth. It's been about 3 years, so we have to do this again." So it's where they put you've all had dental x-rays, but they put it in all these different positions, and then it kind of moves around and it rotoscopes your mouth, right? So they do all of that. They start the cleaning, and then while they're doing, I don't know, bubble gum, some weird strawberry flavor that they're scraping your teeth with, they pull over this computer screen. So I'm sitting there like this with my mouth open. It looks almost like Scanners or the scene from Clockwork Orange where he's in the theater like this. I'm just sitting there with my mouth open, and they do that, and they bring a computer screne over, and they go, you see that? Do you know what that is? I'm like, like I can't speak. My mouth is pried open. So I guess I still had one old filling from the long ago, a silver filling in my tooth. And they said, yeah, well, see this right there? That's your filling. I go, okay. And then she's like, see that under there? Stop asking me questions. I can't speak. Just tell me, right? This whole thing. So a big cavity was building in under the filling, which is supposed to prevent the cavities, right? So this whole thing's going to have to come out. We're going to have to do a root canal. I went, okay. And I said, the assistant there said, all right, we can do tomorrow at 12. I said, okay, I can't. And they say, what do you mean? Well, in the Northeast, I don't know if other parts of the country are doing this. I don't think they did by you. Were your kids off for Rosh Hashanah?
No, we don't celebrate any Jewish holidays this side of the Mason-Dixon.
I mean, you guys share the whole thing about, walking aimlessly through the desert. You'd think you'd sympathize and share the holidays. Right. So, yeah, here in the East Coast, a lot of schools, offices, whatever, closed for Rosh Hashanah. So I know the kid's going to be home. I don't have anybody to watch the kid because she's off that day. And I said, yeah, I have my kid. And they said, oh, you could bring her around here. They're, because they have a dog, by the way, walking around the dental office. It's a big place, but the dentist brings their dog. It's a little boutique kind of dog. It's an adorable dog, but just walks around, says hi to people. And it's almost like a greeter.
Could you imagine it says hi to people? It's like, hello. It's like, whoa, shit.
It's like, we're paying this dentist too much.
You just realize you were just on the gas too long. You're imagining the dog dogging.
Right. So, they're like, oh, you could bring her over there. She'd have fun with the dog. And I said, I'm not bringing a toddler to get major surgery done and hope that the dog's going to keep her entertained. That's not going to happen. And the dentist is like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Did you have to convince the dentist of what the right course of action was?
Well, she was busy.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
She was busy. I'm not blaming the dentist. I'm not. I'm not blaming the dentist.
Was this your dentist? Is this why?
How did you know? I was in the lobby reading the big book of British smiles. And so the dental staff is top notch. The dentist is so nice. She's very nice. I've never had a problem there. But apparently they hired some kind of business manager to this place, this Hispanic lady who has no idea of etiquette, or I'll even say bedside manner, when a patient is kind of strung up in a chair, might be numbed up, might be gassed, might be whatever, and she's trying to discuss business and bill payments while this is going on. I'll get to that in a second.
And this happy little fellow was the gouger. I'm like, I'm trying not to do that.
Yeah, it looks like the old-fashioned egg beater with the crank, Right. So they're like, well, when can you? I'm like, they're like, can you do Wednesday? I go, yeah, I can do Wednesday. And they're like, 3:00. And I said, Okay, fine. Now I need to find somebody to pick up the kid from school, but okay, fine. Wednesday at 3. Well, if you put it off later, the pain's going to last longer. And I said, what pain? I had zero pain walking into this place. You told me that I had to get this done. My mouth was fine. I had no problem. So Wednesday comes around. It's about 10 after 2. I'm getting stuff ready. I'm about to, get changed and run over to the kid's school to pick her up. And I figured I'll be a worst case scenario, a couple minutes late. The dentist is like 10 minutes from me. And so I'll drop the kid off at home from school, run over to the dentist. It'll be fine. About 10 after 2, the dentist is calling. I pick it up and it's that Spanish lady. And she goes, Mr. Nagel, yes, you have an appointment. Are you on your way? I said, yes, at 3:00. No, it's at 2. No, it's at 3:00. No, it's not. It's 2. They have everything right here. You need to get here now. I'm like, excuse me? I said, no, it's 3. What? And I'm sitting around. I go, I got to find someone to pick. And I just hung up on her. I wasn't going to argue. So now I'm scrambling. I was lucky enough to find somebody last minute to pick up the kid from school. Everything was fine. That wasn't an issue. So I go speeding down, I'm not even changed. So I'm just throwing clothes on, cleaning up as best as I can. I run down to the dentist because I should have had another 50 minutes. But I get down there. There's a lady at the front desk and she's like, hi, name. And I give her my name. And she said, okay, yes, you have your appointment at 3:00. You'll be all set. I went, I knew it. And she said, excuse me? I go, 3:00? And she said, yes, the Spanish lady comes from around the hallway into that little office at the front there, the receptionist area. No, it's at 2:00. And I said, is it 2:00 or is it 3:00? Because she's telling me 3:00. I have it in my phone as 3:00 from when I had to sign that thing on Monday saying 3:00. No, it's at 2:00. It was 3:00. That lady.
Did they not have some kind of texting system or some kind of reminder thing? Because with my daughter's orthodontist, I can't get away from the fact that they just constantly remind me that I've got weeks.
Yeah, I have it. Hold on. It's buried in here. But yeah, I get this is my HVAC people.
I would just assume that would have that information and say, hey, look, we're looking forward to seeing you at 3. If you need to cancel, you better do it now.
Yeah, I had the thing. As soon as they log it into the computer, it automatically sends a text out, right? So yeah, it was for 3:00. I knew it was for 3:00. This lady, I had the thing on my phone that said 3:00. Now that you're bringing it up, right?
Yeah.
But she changed it or put something in there at 2:00. So now it's 2:00. So they're all sitting there waiting for me. So I'm technically late when I wasn't supposed to be late. I still, whatever. So I go, again, the dental assistants, everybody in the office is very nice. That one lady is a problem. I go, I take my hoodie off. I put all my stuff onto the little table over there. And because this is going to be a while, I have my earbuds in and I have a playlist set up on Spotify so I can zone out and not focus on this thing. They have TV, by the way, this is interesting. They have little TVs in all the dental rooms. And they just were showing this marathon of the people that buy those tiny little houses.
So they just put it on a Discovery Channel.
Yeah, it's like one of the Discovery Channel offshoot things.
Right.
And it was a marathon. I think it was called Little House Nation. And each episode is just a family that's, came across hard times or thinking they're spending too much money and they're in the market for a new house, just like their other real estate shows that they have where, some gay gentleman takes them around parts of Miami or some, Indian looking lady takes them around parts of Texas or something. It's everybody fits the region that they're in, right? The small little house is these people there and you're looking in the house, you walk in, this is the living room. The bedroom is a ladder above the living room. It's 4 feet with the angle of that. This is on a marathon. And I'm sitting there looking at this. I can't hear it because I got my Spotify on, but I'm watching that and I'm sitting there. I can't believe I'm watching this. Imagine if I was listening to the conversations, I'd be losing my fucking mind. But one episode did come on. I made a note. I'm going to try to cut it up and bring it to the house. It was a family of 4. They had 2 little kids that their bedrooms were essentially a crawl space.
Mm.
And I sat there and go, how does nobody take these people's kids away from this? So make
I
the
just thought of
reminder.
an amazing spin-off that we could do for that. It would be the Little House Nation of Islam. So it's just really militant, but in very small confined quarters.
The house is on a lazy Susan, so you could spin it to face Mecca for the times you have to pray.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sitting down. I'm getting ready. Have my earphones on. I'm about ready.
They give you the glasses so you can the light's not so bright.
I got the Terminator glasses on. Yeah. One of the assistants come over with the clipboard, all the stuff I have to sign off, for waivers and what have you. I'm down. They recline the chair. They're getting me ready. I have the glasses on. I hit play, and I'm sitting there like, alrighty. Now it's just going to be a series of shots into my mouth to numb my head.
I hate
right?
those so much.
As they're getting ready to do this, that Spanish lady comes around with this black thing that I can only describe as, how if you go to some kind of casual dining restaurants that have the thing that you could play video games and pay your bill at your table.
Every Chili's you've ever been to. Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. An Applebee's, whatever. She comes over with this black thing and she's saying something. So now I have to sit there, move around their stuff to pop the earbud out to see what's going on. Right. Yeah. And she goes, do you have the card? What?
It's in my front pocket. Go dig.
She turns and she goes, you still owe this amount. I go, yeah.
Right now.
Well, here's the thing with this office. They used to have my card on file, and I have a special card that I use with my health plan because you can put a certain amount of money into this card and it's tax free. So if you're paying for co-pays, for prescriptions, like if you go to a CVS or a Walgreens, something to get something like that, use that money on that account and it's tax free, right?
I actually have one of those right here.
Yeah, so exactly, right? So they used to have that on file, but I guess they updated their systems because this lady was new. I've never seen this lady before, the Spanish lady. And she goes, oh, it's a new system. We don't have that anymore. So they don't have the card on file. So on Monday, stepping back a little bit, in order to set this appointment, I had to put $200 down, right? So I don't have the card. The card's at home. So I said, all right, well, I don't have this with me because I never brought it with me. Because CVS has the card on file and the dentist has it on file and my doctors have it on file. So I would use that card to pay co-pays and incidentals, whatever I needed to, right? Major bills get sent to you after the work is done. So I went home on Monday, found the card, called in and paid the $200 down. Well, you still owe this amount. Okay. And she's looking at me like, are you going to pay? I'm in the chair. I'm prepped and ready for surgery here. And she's like, why aren't you paying this bill? I said, I don't have the card with me. You're going to have to call my house and call her and get the card information, right?
Yeah.
I don't have it. And she said, okay. And she walked away and I'm texting my check. And I was like, hey, the dentist is going to call you. And as I'm trying to finish typing, boop, there's a text. I just got a text with a link to pay a bill for the dentist. And so I finished what I was saying. It's like, I said, I'm here. I'm prepped. They were about to start. She comes in with a card. I'm like, you find the card for me. Just click on the link and pay the thing if you can. Right.
Right. So,
I said, I'm going under. I'll talk to you later. So all that's done. Have the headphones on. They go through everything and they were great. It wasn't really that painful other than I had to take 6 shots to the face, isolate that with the numbing thing, because at one point where they're shaving down the tooth, like they got that metal thing around your tooth and they're shaving your tooth down. I start wincing again. And she said, what's wrong? I'm like, that hurt. And she goes, was it from the pressure or was it like from the tooth itself? I go, it can be both because it's like an electric shock. She goes, you have 4 shots in here. You shouldn't be feeling this. I go, I don't know. I said, I'm not like begging for, more, whatever that stuff's called to numb me, but
one for you, one for me.
Yeah. And she's like, well, she goes, all right, I'll do one more round, but if you're still feeling it, I'm going to have to do and she called it laughing gas.
I haven't heard that term in years.
Me neither.
Like
I didn't
sitcom type shit.
I didn't even know that was still a thing, right? But she's like, yeah, we have the laughing gas. And I said, are you serious? Yeah, because I was, it's called nitrous oxide, right? So it's like you would think the doctor would not say laughing gas, but I'm kind of chuckling because, again, old comical sitcom term.
Yeah, right. Like every time someone went to the dentist, it was laughing gas.
Right. So I'm like, okay, so they do 2 more shots of the numbing thing. Now I'm feeling like my eye and my face is sliding off my skull. So I'm like, okay, cool. She goes, does everything I need to do and done with it. And then get up. Okay, great. They're making the appointment for next week. Okay, it's going to take about a week. This needs to heal. The inflammation goes down. You come back in and they put the new tooth in and all of that stuff. Fine, no problem. I go, I leave, I go home, and she tells me, she goes, this lady is a problem. And I said, why? What happened? So she goes, I sent you that text and you immediately followed up with the text. And I said, yeah, I was in the middle of writing when you sent me one. I didn't see what you sent mine. So mine looks like it's out of order, right? She goes, about a minute or so later, I get a personal text from that thing saying, hey, just letting you know, we sent you the text with the link to pay the bill. She's working. She's on business calls, whatever. The lady calls my house saying, hi, we sent you the text to pay the bill. So she goes, yeah, I prefer to pay a bill on services rendered. Thank you. And hung up the phone. She wanted me to pay the whole thing outright before the surgery even happened. That doesn't happen, even in a hospital.
No.
You know, you're going in, you maybe have to, I don't know, depending on your insurance, you got a copay, you got to put down, you got to put a deposit, something. I get this, you pay a portion, but you get the bills afterwards because depending on what they have to do, it's not very black and white as they list everything going into surgery. Complications happen, what have you. You get a bill, an itemized bill, and then you make your payments or you pay the bill in one shot, whatever you got to do. You don't go into surgery and the nurse walks in with a clipboard saying, we need your credit card information to pay for the surgery. So, waited till the very last moment of that day before I paid off the rest of the bill on principle.
Good.
It was also said to me, it's like, well, you should talk to the dentist about this. I said, I agree. I am going to wait till this is all done. Wait till all of this is done before I start complaining about the some of her personnel that seems to have no kind of is the right term, bedside manner with all of this stuff.
I mean,
just basic etiquette for a doctor.
Etiquette's a good one, yeah.
Right. So yeah, next week I'll go in, I'll get the rest of it done. I'll pay. I paid everything off, so I shouldn't have anything else to pay for. And then once it's healed and what have you, I'll go back and speak with the dentist one-on-one. She's very nice. She's very understanding. I got to say, you got to do something about that. But then another friend of mine said to me, he goes, hey, he's like, you said everyone in that office is very nice. They're very sweet people. I said, yeah, all of them. It's a fantastic office. He says to me, he goes, maybe that's why they have her, because they're too nice and she's in there to enforce things that are falling to the wayside. I said, I understand that. But you don't act like a bill collector while the patient is sitting there getting prepped and numbed, ready for surgery. That is a step too much. So we'll see how that goes. But I only made those notes to show you that I can't go a week without something ridiculous happening in my life.
Yeah, I think we actually have some audio of her trying to get that bill.
I want my $2.
That's an old movie, my friend. That's a very old movie.
You're welcome. The other week, I was going to say, go ahead and pop that up if you want.
What is this?
I actually had some dental work done about a week before you, too. So that's why I was like, oh, did you get the fun glasses and all that shit? So,
Mine didn't look like I have cataracts.
I look like I should be retired down in Florida.
Mine looked like, Terminator biker glasses.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. I'm like, oh, no, you did the dentist bit, too. Yeah, I hate the dentist.
Hey,
really
Giddles is in the chat. I got robbed by my dentist. They had me sign paperwork after I was all drugged up and didn't know. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, they took way too much money for his bill thing, and then I don't think he ever got that money back.
I don't think so either.
There's nothing he could really do. In the chat there.
Annoyed Wawa supervisor.
Mr. Nagel, I think we've learned here is that you're going to a dentist is a bad idea. Oh, sorry, in a bad area. They clearly have people running out on their fillings. No, it's a very upscale place where I reside, and it's in
the Walmart.
It's a money area, I'll say. Not the money area that I live in specifically, but on the outskirts of me, a lot of money. A lot of executives for networks in New York City live a couple blocks away from where I live. It's a whole to-do. And but if that area is going downhill, then everything is fucked. Like if that's considered the bad area, I would love to see the other towns. It's like, dude, do you know how many times that Williams-Sonoma was robbed last week? What? Really?
It's just you going in there stealing all their peppermint bark every year.
$300 Mickey waffle irons are just constantly being stolen.
Flying off the shelves.
Falling off the truck. Sold.
Well, I mean, it doesn't sound like you are having any complications verbally. I don't think I remember seeing anything. I know yesterday we saw each other, did some stuff together, and I don't remember seeing anything. So, I mean, whatever they did, at least you're not completely useless to us all.
No, I guess not. Hello, everybody in the chat. There's more people in here. I'm sorry. I didn't see all of their stuff here. Jordan, if you, while I'm doing all of that, if you see stuff pop in that's relevant, feel free to throw them on the screen. You have access to all of that.
I say Jared the Geek was actually saying it's illegal to have someone sign after they're medicated for a procedure. That's what I kind of thought too. Like if you're incapacitated in a way, like you shouldn't be able to sign legal docs.
For Gittle's thing, absolutely. For mine, they were prepping me there. They hadn't done the needles yet. She walked right in before, like, because I looked over. They had the tray. You get that sterilized tray that has all the utensils that they're going to be using for your
gouger.
Procedure. Yeah, there was the needles. There was all of that stuff there. There was something that looked like an old, bulldozer from a Tonka truck. It was going to be a whole ordeal. But they hadn't shot me up yet, and certainly had no idea. Laughing gas was on the table. I might be curious to try that next week.
Still can't believe they called it that.
I'm going to sit there and like, you know what? Let me try the laughing gas this time. Well, but that thing is, if I do the laughing gas, I can't drive home. So that's
Tom actually has a pretty good one talking about Alberta saying Eric has issues paying non-white women every week. Is this a new bit? Yeah, because you were having the excuse me, sir. Was that a medical thing too?
So much shit
trying to collect on you. Yeah, it was. Because you got sent the check.
The medical bills things. I never put. Did we? Wait a minute. Did we post that? Can we promote that?
I don't know if you posted. I remember seeing the artwork for it, but yeah, I don't think.
Hold on. Let me check our channel real quick. I think I did post it. If we have the opportunity to send people that way. Yes, it is. It's called "Pay the Bill You've Already Paid."
Yep, I see it right there.
There it is. So yes, that was the lady on the phone who was trying to
wanted her check.
Yeah. I'm not going to go back into that whole story again, but
this seems to be a new thing for you.
Wait, is this the artwork for it there?
Yes.
There it is. Okay. Yes. Look for that. God damn it. This way. Look for that video on our YouTube channel called Pay the Bill You've Already Paid. It tells the whole story, plus includes her voicemail to me. With her condescending, really shitty attitude.
The check, sir.
Yeah. So there was that.
Yeah.
One other thing with me, and then I want to hear about you. So, because I live, within the New York City area, there's a lot of weird things that go on and a lot of extravagant things that go on. Well, there's places all throughout the New York City area that do specialty kind of things for kids in normally adult places. So this place is like a high-end restaurant that was doing a Disney Princesses Brunch. So it looks like it's tied in. It was a tied in thing with Disney, right? So you make your reservations. You don't pay for tickets, but you make reservations to go on this particular Sunday for the brunch. So they reserve a table for you. and you've got, you go in for brunch. I think there's a drink requirement for the adults and, like mimosas or something like that.
Right.
And then they have people dressed up as Disney princesses coming around to see all the kids. They get to sing, they dance, they bring them little gifts and all. It's a whole to do, right? So my kid loves this stuff. Hold on. I see Jared the Geek. IP lawsuit incoming. No. This one I think was affiliated with Disney because they were using the names. They had all the full likenesses and they had the Disney thing on the advertisement for it. So unless they really were being ballsy and like, we're just going to roll the dice and Disney's dealing with Jimmy Kimmel right now. I think
I was going to say, I think they need some good publicity. I think they'll leave the 5 and under crowd alone for a bit.
Yeah, it's this place in New York City is doing a princess brunch and they're using all our IP. That's the least of our problems. Let it go. We'll come back to them when times are better, So anyway, she goes there with her grandparents and is having a great time. Sees all the princesses. They're giving you gifts. Everybody's dressed up. She goes and she's got a fancy Elsa dress that she's all dressed in with the satin gloves that go up to the elbow. She had her hair done. She's wearing a crown. Like this is a whole big thing just to go to brunch, right? So she goes, has a good time. I get a day away from the kids, so it's fantastic. The grandparents have her. Come back. I'm getting photos throughout the day, and they're telling me about her at the brunch, and then they went shopping and did some other things with her. So apparently, and I have a video, but I'm not going to play the video, but I have a video of my kid going up to all the different princesses. They have Aurora, Cinderella. There's a lady that was dressed up as Ariel. There's a whole bunch of other princesses that I'm forgetting the name. Anyway, she was going up to the different princesses and they all kind of kneel down. Like they talk to the kids. Like it's very well done, this whole thing.
That's good.
Look at you. You're beautiful. You're dressed up like that. They answer questions. They take photos. They do autographs, anything you want. My kid was constantly going around and saying the same thing to all the princesses. Now, do you want to guess what she was saying to every princess? You won't get it, but I'm keen to guess. I'm keen to hear your guesses on.
You want my fun guess, or that'll get me in trouble, or do you want me to say it? No, I don't.
No, give me the fun guess.
I'm assuming your daughter's probably running around giving her best takes on 9/11 conspiracies to each one of these princesses.
Yes, she's part of that. What was it, Gold Coin or whatever that thing was? Yeah. The conspiracy. She had this. She was watching the documentary between Taylor Swift videos. Yeah, she was trying to do her own TMZ gotcha moments with her cell phone. No, she went up to every princess that wasn't her favorite princess and kept asking them. They're like, "Hi, how are you doing? Everything?" And she goes, do you know where the ones from Frozen, Elsa and Anna? He's like, "Do you know where Elsa and Anna are?" "Oh, they're not here right now." And then she would look kind of disappointed with every single princess. She told everyone who's a certain character.
That's so funny.
"Do you know where the other ones are that I'd rather see than you?" Essentially.
She goes up to Ariel. She goes, "Do you understand that because you were underage, your contract was not legally binding and Ursula should not have taken your voice?" You're like, move along, kid.
Well, it's international water, so I don't think those laws are really applied to any kind of body.
She's not a maritime lawyer, Eric.
Yeah.
She only knows land laws.
So she's like, "Do you know where Elsa and Anna are?" To every princess.
I'm surprised they did not have them, or at least, Elsa.
Yeah, they had a lot of them, but they didn't have the Frozen ones, and they didn't have the other ones that she likes from Encanto.
They don't really make around too much.
What are the other ones she likes? Lilo and Stitch, Moana.
Yeah.
Right. But she
a lot of white faces at this princess dinner then.
No,
this brunch.
There was the
Tiana.
The prince. What is it called? Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, it's Tiana.
The soundtrack, by the way, they played on Disney Radio. That soundtrack is really good for that movie. A lot of Nolans blues and Cajun music and stuff. It's really good. So she asked every princess, why aren't you Elsa and Anna? Where are they?
Yeah, why aren't you this way?
So her grandfather's telling me this.
That's funny.
And he's constantly like, stop saying that to them. Okay. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. And then they go and talk to her a little bit and she'd be fine with the next princess. And she goes, I really wanted to see Elsa and Anna. It's like, stop saying
And
that.
what's great about when you tell these things about her now to me is that I have had conversations with her, both inside a princess dress, so I could picture the situation.
Oh yeah. You've seen that.
And I can actually see this happening. And it's just, it's funny. Like, it's really funny.
Oh my God, Tom.
I know.
She just starts shaking her glass of iced tea. Oh my God, who's raising this kid? It's not me, but I am keen to find out where she's.
Why are you out front?
What is her mother teaching her that I'm not aware of?
Right.
Next week, part of the new bit, Eric won't pay his Filipino podiatrist. All right, we get it. You're still going with that bit.
That's funny.
We don't even know you, Eric, but we all know she's definitely takes after you with that. Yeah.
She does have your driving, proclivities, yelling at traffic and people in the road. So, yeah, I mean, I can see that's not a far stretch, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Frozen was recent and massive now, too, which was a big miss on their point. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't have Elsa and Anna there, but they had Mulan. But here's something that was weird about Mulan. So apparently there's parts of Mulan that are now a problem that I think I've only seen that movie once in my entire life, and I don't really remember it, other than Donny Osmond was playing like an Asian master or something.
Well, he was not the voice. He was the singing voice. Back when Disney couldn't hire like a dual threat actor that could do both.
Right.
So, you had like Scar wasn't always singing his songs most of the time.
Oh, Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons didn't see it. Do some and things like that. So yeah, that was Donny Osmond did the singing for the soundtrack, but he was not the voice.
Right. Well, so apparently there's problems with Mulan and what have you. It's like, stop,
so
enough. I barely even remember. Like, I know that movie because of the Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce stuff more than I do remembering that. And that Christina Aguilera sang a song from that movie. That's about the extent of my knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Who is that girl I see?
But Mulan was there. Tiana was there. A bunch of other princesses. Yeah, but the Frozen wasn't there. And some of the other properties weren't there. But anyway, she had a good time. I just thought it was funny that she went around to every princess saying, I'd rather see the other people, where are they, than what these people were doing.
That's so funny.
So
kids are fun.
How are you?
I'm good. I mean, I can't wait for this week to be over, but yeah, I'm good. I got so last week we talked about how, I had some concert stuff, went to Nine Inch Nails, great show, all this stuff.
Yes.
I bought.
Can I interrupt you one thing?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Since you were talking about that, I was sent a gift for you.
Oh.
A couple weeks, because last week I think you went to Nine Inch Nails, right?
I went to Nine Inch Nails last Tuesday, yeah.
Okay. And then the week before that, you were at Lincoln Park.
I went to Lincoln Park. I was supposed to see Coheed Fuck Cambria, but they had to move things, so I only got to see Lincoln Park and Nine Inch Nails. And then,
I was sent a little gift for you.
Oh.
Saying that Jordan might enjoy this. So here it is.
When this began, I had nothing to say, and I get lost in the nothingness inside of mine. I was confused, and I let it all out to find that I'm not the only person with these things in mind. Inside of me, when all the vacancy the world's to build is the only real thing that I got left to feel. Nothing to lose, just stuck, hollow in the loud, and the fault is my own, and the fault is my own. I wanna heal,
that's rough. That is so funny.
I wanna let go of the pain that felt so long. Embrace the pain till it's gone. I wanna feel like
I love how sometimes it sounds like he's doing it from his bathroom.
Find something I wanted all along. Somewhere I belong.
So that was sent.
I need like a whole CD of all those. That would be great.
Oh my God, we still have our favorites too.
Lose it. Just lose it.
Yeah, that we have.
School trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside.
Yeah,
Those are good. So yeah, so got to go see them. Bought, like we talked about, I bought tickets for Duran Duran. I thought, okay, I'm done buying tickets for now. I still need to buy tickets.
I am actually envious of that you're going to see Duran Duran.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be fun. Like, I'm actually getting kind of excited for it. And it's not one of those ones like this next one I'm going to talk about where it's too far off in the future, where it's like, okay, I bought this thing, I made this investment, and now I don't get to do anything with it. It's in January, so not too far. Tomorrow goes on sale. My Chemical Romance is coming to Arizona, and
that was an amazing. I'm actually, you know, my stance on concerts right now.
I do, and that's why.
I actually kind of wished I was at the My Chemical Romance show over in the Meadowlands.
Mm-hmm.
All the clips I was watching online, I was like, damn, that's actually.
Yeah, I heard they did well. I know they just played. I think they were in Chicago, but yeah, they're going to be here in Phoenix next September, an entire year from now. And I'm going to be buying tickets tomorrow morning. Like, it's crazy that I have to now just drop that money and then.
You're taking your kid with you?
I don't know yet.
I think
it's one of those things where it's a year in advance. She's not into them now, but I think I might be able to like turn her around. And so I'm at least get 2 tickets. So
even if you don't really have her there yet, for when that concert comes around, if she starts telling her friends, they'll all kind of hype her up about it and be like, oh, that's great that you get to go and do that.
What's cool about this tour that they're doing is that they're bringing different acts on at different points of the time. So like, you know, you're going to have this Japanese metal band called Baby Metal is going to be part of their opening act for a couple shows. Jimmy Eat World's opening them up here in Phoenix. Local band. Everyone loves Jimmy Eat World. I just saw them back in April. Fantastic show. So I'm like, okay, that's going to actually be really fun. Like, I'm excited for that one. So I'll be buying tickets for that. And then Giddles in the chat here said he bought his Carpenter Brute and Health tickets today. I'm actually going to be doing that show as well. Carpenter Brute's like a techno trip hop type of like French DJ that does really, really good music. Like soundtrack, horror soundtrack type of music. Like, it's really good. So
okay, yeah,
I'm still buying more tickets. More concerts on the way. I still got to get my Blink 182 tickets for February. So, we're at a good time where my kid gets to benefit from the fact that I'm making up for lost time. So
I have to go and buy a replacement shirt, my Blink 182 shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have a couple of different versions of their shirt, but one of my favorites is the white one with the blue and pink logo. That's kind of off center.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I think you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
And I go to put it on a couple weeks ago, and I open it up out of the drawer. There's a big brown stain right here on the right side. And I go, I'm like, did somebody shit on my shirt? Like, what happened here, right? And I'm trying to figure out what have you. At one point, it was sitting in a laundry basket, I guess in my living room before it was being folded. My kid was eating something and wiped her hands or her face on the shirt.
It's a big handprint right there.
So I take the shirt and now I'm bleaching the area because I don't want to ruin the color and stuff, but the bleach in there, it's not coming out.
Who knows how long it's been there?
I know. I had no idea. So now because it's a white shirt, you can't even like fade it to the point where you won't even notice it. So I had to throw it out and go, now I'm looking online to buy the same exact shirt again so they can have it to wear. So
yeah,
I need to get that. And then you're going to have to get me a Duran Duran shirt.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely, hopefully get something cool there. I'm excited for that one. That one's going to be good. Woodfoot saying Baby Metal effing rocks. Yeah, they were just out here touring.
I have something of theirs. They
Baby
did,
Metal?
Yeah, they did something with Funko years ago.
I'm sure.
That we have. I have. You know what? If I have it, I got to go into the vault area there. Sure. But if I have, Baby Metal sounds familiar. And then I don't know if Giddles was in there. Who was that other lady that they did a big Funko reveal during the Halloween event we were at? And then all of a sudden she was the face of the next WWE pay-per-view. Like they were using her song as the main theme for it. I can't think of her name either.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
But I also, like the year before, they did something with Baby Metal and Funko, and I think I have that too. If you want, I'll send those to you. You can have.
Yeah, no, Baby Metal's great. They were just out here a couple months ago, and I missed the show. I think they were here while we were doing this show, or I just couldn't make it. And they were playing with a band that I wanted to see called Bloodywood. It's like a new metal Indian, like heavy metal band. And they are awesome. Like Bloodywood is really, really good. And
there are Carpenter Brute fans in the chat here. Turbo Killer is probably my favorite song, says Woodpit.
Yeah, no, they're really good. So I'm excited for that one. They're actually playing in a pretty small club here in Phoenix, which I'm excited for. A little more intimate. Sound is going to be really good, so I'm excited. And I know Giddles, like he said, just bought his tickets for New York, so that'll be fun. They're going to be coming off on a European tour, so very excited. A lot of good music coming out. And like I said, and I've always said this, if I can have the opportunity, I'm going to take it. I want to make up for lost time. And again, my kid's going to just benefit from me just living like a child.
Get her the tickets to My Chemical Romance. She'll have a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
The first time, well, because I've told the story, I think that a friend of mine used to have a comic book store, and Gerard and Mikey used to go in there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew them before they got big. Like they had a band in high school. They were building up and making their stuff. But Gerard's an artist and would go into the comic book shops, talk, whatever, shop with this guy and what have you. And that's kind of where I first heard of them, because I wonder if I still have it. I think I have a piece of early artwork that it was some kind of sketch that was given to the guy who owns the shop, and he gave me one of them.
Nice.
By Gerard. I got to see if I have a scrapbook. It's one of those books with the plastic inserts.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to see if I still have that. But I got to meet them again in 2006 when we were syndicated down to West Palm Beach. We went down to do one of their big yearly concert called the Buzz Bake Sale.
I remember you telling me about that.
And we got to go out and introduce, at least I know I did with some of the staff, we got to go and introduce My Chemical Romance. I mean, look at this old photo. Yeah, December of 2006.
Wow.
Look at that.
Well, look at you.
I know, right? A lot of fun. I do enjoy that band so much.
How you pull some of this stuff out so quickly is impressive to me. But yeah, it's I was never like into them when they were at their height, and then when they kind of like went away, I started listening a little bit more. So like it was just I was in between, and I enjoy it. And it's one of those things where it's like this could be it. Like this, we're lucky they came back to do all these shows. The hype is there. They're doing all this stuff. I'm going to take advantage of it because probably not see him again. So
that's great. Go and live it up before Live Nation fucks up everything even more.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, nothing else is really going crazy. I thankfully live far enough away where I missed Charlie Kirkapalooza that happened this last weekend.
Yeah.
Where everyone was just like lining up at like 1 a.m. and stuff. So I missed all that. Thankfully.
I want to point out one thing. About that event, other than the fucking WWE pageantry for when they really introduced people coming out on the stage. There was a thing going on.
And like Trump comes running out. Ah!
Yeah, well, the one video where it's Erica Kirk coming out to Cody Rhodes' American Nightmare.
I watched it 4 times after you sent it to me.
I was thinking about playing. I'm like, I don't know if that's really
no
right now. But the video's all over online. You can go look. It's timed out well with the pyro that they had for her and all that stuff with Cody's music. It works out fantastic. So there was videos and photos going around about the outside of the venue where all the people were leaving their stuff. Because I remember you sent it to me too, and you said you have these strict rules: no bags, no any of this other stuff. You're going in there.
Well, some stadiums around here have like a bag policy, but it's got to be clear bags, or like it has to be a certain size and things like that. This particular stadium, the football stadium, no bags. Like you can't bring a small bag or a clear bag. It is.
Was it because of the people attending this event, or was it always even when they have games?
Everything, concerts, games, whatever
So what I wanted to point out was that all that was going around. They're like, look at these people. It's disgusting. There's chairs. There's coolers. There's all these things here. Yes, these people didn't know the policies, I guess, for this particular stadium. But I can show you countless other videos and photos of various parking lots of sporting stadiums around the country where they have tailgates and all of this other stuff. And if they don't lock it up in their car, like if they came on came off the train or a bus or something like that, I can show you equally a mess of around Giant Stadium, around what's the one where the Memorial Field for the Chicago Bears, that parking lot, Soldier Field. You see those parking lots up. People leave those collapsible umbrella chairs, all that stuff all over the place because they can't bring them into the stadium. And it's just, I mean, it's not the right thing to do, but it's just worth it for them to leave that shit there because somebody will clean it up and they can go enjoy the game. So that wasn't the big gotcha moment that everybody thought it was, but it was insane to see how much shit was all outside of that stadium going into that event.
Yeah, it was a lot. So, but yeah, I missed all that, thankfully. And then I find out now, this is not, usually my proclivities. I don't go searching these sites, but I saw a news story that, again, Arizona. So apparently, and I didn't know this, there's a new bill that just passed here in Arizona that went into effect I think it's either today or tomorrow, where you have to present your ID and have it loaded to access Pornhub. So I can't
has that, I think, too.
Texas, I think, did it. But yep, here's dear user. As you may know, your elected officials in Arizona are requiring us to verify your age before allowing you to access our website. And it goes on. And I'm like, wow, I did not know that was happening. I didn't know. It was like, God, Arizona.
There's certain states that had that. Like some of them are completely banned in certain states. Like,
yeah.
Do it. Other states, I think in Texas, because I think I was doing Dave Landau's show in Dallas at the Blaze when I think that was going into effect. And I think we were looking at it on his show we were logging into Pornhub and there was the screen that you had to provide your ID now. The problem I get it. Believe me, I know people are outraged. I get it. But the problem I have is that if you have to enter your license, do you have to upload the photo or do you have to type in the code or what do you have to do?
I don't know. Let me see. Porno is rated. Blah, blah, blah. You can access, block the site. Please read this page. I think you have to go in and sign in. I don't know. Like the main page is what gives me just the main thing. And then you have to go to another page and you can, So they don't make it easy.
Right. So the fact that you have to give ID, either a photo or type in the license or whatever, I get it, but you can't do it for, if I remember correctly, like Pornhub and those sites, they're not pay sites unless you subscribe to, they have like a higher tier or something in there that you can set up an account and pay to get. It's kind of like YouTube or anything else. If you have a Patreon, you get some stuff for free. And then if you want to see other stuff, you got to pay like a membership or subscription or something, right? They should only be asking you to sign in and with that information if you set up an account.
Right. And then you should have some kind of like ID and me type situation where you have to.
Because then the website is responsible for it. Or if they use whatever the third party is, like what is it called? Cipita, the thing with the pictures and CAPTCHA. It's CAPTCHA, one of those third party things. If you make an account, you have to log in with that information. Then they are legally responsible for securing your information, right? If you have to show an ID because a state put this law down and they just add this introductory layer on top of the website, you show your ID or you scan it, it goes into their thing. They go, okay, you're allowed to view the site, but you don't have an account. That's fucked up.
Now here, so Tom in the chat, Tom Enright says bars can ID at the door. Yeah, but bars aren't going to take my ID, keep my ID, and hold my ID indefinitely and use my ID for whatever other purpose.
Yeah, they're not scanning your ID. I mean, they'll do the little whatever that digital thing to make sure it's valid.
Right.
But they're not like taking a photo of it. They're not saving your information for all of that stuff here. Online, you have to have that in place where if they're going to take your information to verify, it has to legally be secured. So if Pornhub is or any of those adult sites that have to do it now, is it just Pornhub, or do all the adult sites in Arizona have to do this now?
I'm sure there's sites that don't comply with that. I think Pornhub is taking the cautious route and not pushing against it, and I think they've done it. In fact, I think Bartholomew's saying Pornhub is just straight up blocking access in states that passed the legislation. So they're
that I knew certain states have banned. Others need like I think like Texas, you have to verify your information for it. But if you have to make an account to verify your age to go and view this stuff, okay, I understand that that's acceptable. If they just need to scan and have proof of ID and then let you into the website and you don't have an account, that's a problem. That's a bigger problem, because who just got my information then?
Right.
Who has my driver's license and my address and my photo and all of that shit to use if it's not being stored, or that company, that website is not responsible for housing my personal information? So,
it's just Arizona again. Like it feels like we had a nice lull for a while. The weather hasn't been too crazy, so we have to have other news stories to make Arizona the forefront. So,
Woodpit saying government websites in general aren't very tech savvy either. I know, but if there's a breach of something with a government website, the government is legally responsible for anything that happens with your stuff. Same thing where, like, the bank, if you log into your bank, they have your information. They're responsible if that stuff gets out. You can sue the bank for somebody getting your information that way. We talked about for years, there was a few holiday seasons where Target was getting hacked, and people's who had the red card, credit card, their information was getting. Target was responsible for all of that legally. Same thing has to go with these. If the states are putting it into place, okay, fine. States can make whatever decisions they want. But the companies, these websites, whatever, have to have the legal responsibility if they're verifying your information to get in. Look, I've been on other sites, and they're not even like porn sites. They could just be anything where it says, what's your birth date? You just could put, if I don't need to submit my personal information, it's January 1st, 1950, whatever.
You go back just enough to be 21. Like
that too. Yeah. And you just put it in, they go, okay. And now you're in the website there. You can do whatever you want. It's like, yeah, they're not holding my information. If that's the safety measure, then whatever. But if they need your license to scan your license to verify it, then it has to go through all. I don't know. I get it. There should be safety, protocols for adult content like that. But it's not just, hey, we got our new screening software from what are those really cheap make a website thing, Squarespace or Wix, the things like you could start your own business. It's like, I'm sure that's really secure going through your website. But good on Arizona for at least making an effort, but we'll see how this that plays Puritans out. I know. Anything else happening in your neck of the woods before we get into real stuff?
Pretty quiet. Okay. I mean, like I said, my kids started school way early. As of tomorrow, they're on fall break for 2 weeks. So
yeah.
Yay. Okay.
Bartholomew says, no, the states aren't banning Pornhub. Pornhub is cutting off access. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Big Red Tower, hello sir. My local city government websites all went offline every night at 5 p.m. a couple years ago. They missed a memo somewhere. Whoopit saying, that's what I mean. Their web services always suck compared to the private sector. Yeah, it is a whole issue. What is Tom saying there? Tom Enright saying VPN companies must love this shit. Yeah,
sure.
You can use the VPNs for everything. Which we can get into the price increase stuff then. Stephanie McMahon kind of got a bit of a berating from the TKO company that owns WWE, because a couple weeks ago when they were talking about launching on ESPN and how difficult this is, but why somebody had asked the question about, well, how come outside of North America you can just get Netflix or the WWE network and everything is there? Stephanie said, well, yeah, you should just get a VPN. Not good when you're about to launch your big exclusive deal with ESPN, but good on her for doing that.
I don't know. It reminds me of a couple years ago when HBO said, hey, we already know you're stealing our content, but at least our name is out there. It's back when like Game of Thrones was so big. They're just like, why not?
Right. So there's a meme going around where there's the screenshot of Stephanie on that show saying, just get a VPN to watch. And then the scene of her at WrestlePalooza, it says Stephanie McMahon, first nominee for the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame, which is true. It's not that they were making it up. They did announce that she's going to be the first inductee for next year's Hall of Fame. But because she said, oh, get a VPN and don't bother with ESPN, they made her the Hall of Fame inductee for next year.
Really funny.
Let's talk about some of these price increases here, because in the wake of the Jimmy Kimmel stuff, we'll start with Disney, I guess. Disney not making any right moves whatsoever with this. Now, it has to be preferenced by, and we'll do the abridged version. When Kimmel said his comments, the networks that own most of ABC's affiliates, private companies, Nexstar and Sinclair, said, we don't like what he said, but also advertisers. And this came from Disney, not from like hearsay online. Disney put this out of the advertiser pressure, and Sinclair and Nexstar and all that stuff. We're not happy with Jimmy's comments. They wanted Jimmy taken off the air. And so Disney, that's a lot of money, suspended him, right? Mm-hmm. Then it was found out a step further, because people were like, oh, this is free speech. You're squashing free speech. Well, it was more financial pressure towards ABC Disney because of those other two companies. Then the FCC stepped in, which that guy should not have said a fucking thing.
He should have just kept quiet.
But the FCC was kind of threatening. It's like, Nexstar has a merger they're trying to get done. It's the same tactic that they used for the Paramount Skydance situation. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, maybe we'll have to investigate the rest of ABC and Disney. And then I think they even said something like, from the FCC, it's like, oh, maybe we have to take a look at The View, which I hate The fucking View. But it's like, you can't just go around saying like, hey, let's cherry pick your itinerary of programming here, and let's decide which that we don't want on the air in order to get this business deal done. So eventually some meetings happened or what have you. They decided to put Jimmy Kimmel back on the air. He returned on Tuesday. Not everybody was really buying into his apology. You take it for whatever you want. But at least he did the right thing and apologize. Other notes were that when ABC talked to him, or Disney talked to him, that he was going to double down the next night after his initial comments, and that was a knee-jerk reaction. There was a lot of things at play.
Well, I mean, here's my thing. I don't think he should have had to apologize. He didn't say anything offensive enough to warrant the apology that he gave.
If the company was telling them, it's like, if you want to keep all this going, you're going to do that. He had to do what he had to do. So he did it. So that being said, all of that was going on. I don't, that Nexstar still has their own merger thing, which is not ABC and Disney's problem, fault, situation, issue, whatever you want to call it. But because they own a vast portion of ABC's affiliates, it affects them because of this. So who knows what's going on with the Nexstar merger. Now, Kimmel comes back. They announce he's coming back. They also announce, and this is a terrible move and 100% Disney's fault, that they are still going through with the subscription price increase that they had in place and I think it starts next week.
Right? October 21st. So.
Oh, it's not October. All right. I misread it then. I thought it was October 1st. Apologies. So it's in a few weeks then.
Right.
But still, they announced on the day that they surprised everybody, he's coming back, that they're still going ahead with the price increase. This is a terrible and a disaster of a PR move, because they also qualified it with, and it's in the statement, this was something that was already in place before all of this went down. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but sure. This was already in place. It has nothing to do with the current situation with the FCC, with Nexstar, with Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, but that still doesn't, it still doesn't qualify it, I guess, for you to do it right now. You're in the wake of a mass cancellation. They dropped over $4 billion on the stock market because of all of this shit. Mm-hmm. And it, no offense, it's not because people were canceling. Yeah, they probably lost a lot of money. But here's the thing. That wasn't $4 billion worth of cancellations. It was the market reacting with investor confidence that was starting to pull out. because of that. The subscriptions led to that, but a lot of publications were getting it wrong, saying because of cancellations, Disney lost $4 billion. All right, that's very vague, but it was something that led to investor shaky confidence that they were starting to try to sell off their Disney stuff.
Right.
So one didn't equal the other, but one kind of did lead towards the other. So that's clarified. Disney's still going ahead with the subscription price increase is a disaster.
It's just
because
really bad timing.
You lost so many people that canceled because of this thing, and not just people supporting Kimmel, people that didn't like Kimmel also canceled. I posted it on my social media the other day. Disney found the one thing that the rest of the country couldn't figure out. It was how to unite the country in hating Disney. Like everybody on every side was like, fuck that company. For whatever reason, everyone just said, no, we don't like Disney right now. So people were canceling from all walks of life, all political beliefs, what have you. They still are going out. They still haven't issued like, hey, had they said, we know that we had a scheduled price increase, we're going to temporarily suspend that while we sort things out. That would have been the best way to handle this right now. But they're still going forward with this.
Well, here's the thing. No one knew this was going to happen. They didn't have to make any announcement. They could have just not done it.
No, they did. People knew this was coming.
But they've already done this back in like March or April.
But that's what I'm saying. The mass public didn't have it in the forefront of their mind. This was not something they just sprung on people. If you go back and read and follow the timeline and stuff, this has been in the works for a while. We knew this, but it was not in the forefront of everybody's mind while all this other stuff was happening. The big problem was you didn't need to reiterate this at the time. The day Kimmel was set to return that night. You didn't need to put out that statement that we're still going ahead with something that was already in development. The smart thing to save face would have been, hey, we had a price increase scheduled for the 21st, you said?
Yeah, 21st of October.
For the 21st, due to everything right now, we're going to suspend that in price increase, and we're going to reassess, all the corporate jargon that they reassess and whatever to go through all this stuff. That would have saved some face for them in the public market and with subscribers. But they say, well, we're still going ahead with it. You have people that are debating if they're coming back. The people that were outraged with Kimmel being suspended or fired, we didn't know until Tuesday he came back, right? Not Monday, Tuesday, right? Yeah, we didn't know until Tuesday. Are still on the fence. Like their subscriptions are set to renew next week for the top, if they had a monthly thing. If you had a yearly thing and you canceled, you still have to write out the rest of the time you already paid for before that expires. If you want to come back and resubscribe to this thing here to continue after that, those are the people they need to be, essentially kissing their ass to come back to do all of this stuff. I've said this, a quick side note where I'm going to make it about me. When all this went down, I immediately found the phone number to call to cancel. You never do it online. You always get a call, find a customer service line to call. Because if you call during moments like this, a crisis moment like this, they give you what I call crisis control deals. So while all this is a mass influx of people canceling online, you call on the phone and said, yeah, I'm not happy with the current situation. My family has decided. Don't be a dick, but you got to word it sincerely. You go, my family talked it over and we decided we are looking to cancel. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anything we could do? I don't know. This current situation just seemed to be enough that, we have to speak with our money. And this is what we're deciding to do. If you're nice about it, you're doing something that they're not happy with, but if you're nice about it, they bend over backwards to keep you there. Now, I was never going to cancel Disney because it's essentially a utility in my household right now.
Babysitter.
Yes. Oh. So I was calling the bluff, and I do this all the time because I did it with Netflix a couple years ago when they were having problems and got great deals on it. They made an insane deal for me to renew for another year. I got it for, I think, about maybe, if not half, just less than half of what the subscription would cost for a year. And you're thinking, you're looking at right now, it's going to be bumped up. If you have the Hulu, Disney, ESPN package, starting in a few weeks, it's going to be $25 a month.
I was going to say, yeah, currently at 21, it'll go up to 24.
If you have the Disney, Hulu, HBO bundle, that's
with or without ads?
With ads.
With ads, it's going to go up to $20.
Yes, to $20.
Without ads, $32.
Oh wait, I said it wrong. Yes, yeah. With the ads, it's to $20. Yeah. I didn't know that so the HBO package is more than the ESPN package.
So the Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max bundle, no ads, is going to be $32.99, up from $30. If you do the Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Select,
right,
$90 a month. There's so many tiers.
Yeah. I'm not doing the ESPN shit. I didn't look when I switched over to the HBO bundle. I got it on a deal. This new deal that I got gave me, once my subscription's done, the new deal that adds on right after this, $120 for the year.
That's fantastic.
It's fantastic. And I called in the midst.
What is that? $12 a month?
Something like that.
Or $10 a month? That's awesome.
The HBO, Hulu, Disney bundle I got at the end of my subscription is renewing for $120 for the next year. And I called in the middle. I think it was like an hour. Because I remember, I think I told you that I was doing this.
Yeah.
I said, everybody's online posting their cancellations. Like it wasn't just like a handful of people. This was everywhere. Like any of the platforms, people were posting screenshots of their cancellation. They're going to cancel. They fuck Disney, all this stuff there. I picked up the phone. I go, now's the time to do it. And if you go into it calmly and sincerely and just say, look, I don't know if we can in good conscience do this. They will work with you if they're smart to keep you there. And they did. And I accepted that price. So when this subscription's done, because I have it on a bundle price that I got for the HBO thing, my next thing is $120 for the year.
Could you imagine? You go through all that, you lay out your cancellation. You're like, look, morally, I don't think I can support this. And they gave you this offer. And then you're like, you know what? That sounds good. I'll take that. And then they berate you and they're like, really? Your morals were worth this? This was a test, Eric. And you they just nail into you.
Really? I didn't have morals going into this. I wanted to pay less for your subscription, fuckhead, and you fell for it.
Right?
I did it 2 years ago when Netflix was having the big thing. I forgot what that was for, but I remember calling during that time. Anytime I've learned years ago, anytime something like this happens, if I have a subscription or if it was something that I was looking to maybe get, you call in the height of that fervor. And if you're sincere, if you're very calm and collected about it, they will make you a deal out of panic. I coined the term crisis control deals to keep you on. Somebody I know, not going to name names, constantly keeps threatening to cancel SiriusXM every 3 months or something. And they keep giving that person another 3 months, 6 months for free, hasn't paid for the service in years. I'm just telling you, if these companies will fuck you in any way you can, but if you know how to work their customer service system, you can benefit greatly from all of this. So Netflix, I have a great deal. Disney's, I have a great deal when that deal starts at the end of my current subscription. I'm looking at maybe, I should have called during Paramount's thing. I don't know. I should have probably did it, but I didn't have Paramount at the time, so I didn't bother to do it. Hopefully Spotify gets into a lawsuit. Maybe Adobe Audition, not Adobe in general has some kind of crisis. $50 a month per license, per software used because it's all cloud based.
Right.
Yeah. We'll figure it all out. But just a little tip there.
That's the Disney side of this price of the price increases.
Tell us about Xbox.
So Xbox, I think this was the one that back in March, they did something pretty unprecedented. I know Sony had done this, I believe, late last year, where they raised the prices a little bit on the PS5 with all the talks of tariffs and things like that. Xbox made their move back in March, not long after Nintendo announced the Switch 2 pricing. They're like, well, if they can go up to $500, we can raise prices on a 5-year-old system. So they raised prices back in March of this year. they just announced as of next week, October 1st or 2nd, Xbox is now raising their prices yet again by an additional, I think, $50 per thing.
How old is this console?
About 5 years, almost.
5-year-old console, and they've raised the price twice above what it should have been.
Usually what happens is a system, after it gets to a certain point, they slim it down. They might sell it for less or whatever. These are, I think, the Xbox Series X, 2 terabyte, their highest end one, is going to be almost $800. No. Like, you've now just made Xbox pointless to have, because you might as well just build a PC now and still take advantage of the Game Pass.
And if you find, remember a while ago we said on this show, if you go back and find the episode, it's pretty easy to find. I was going through those websites that do like the gift cards and discounts and stuff. You can get they keep changing the name. Is it Xbox Gold? No, it's Xbox Ultimate.
Ultimate, yeah.
I think it's Ultimate now. You can go to those websites. They fluctuate based on whatever, but if you keep tabs of these websites, they have different deals.
Yeah.
And you can get the Ultimate for a year at a pretty good discount, at least 10% at minimum, which is not bad considering that it's like $100-something for the year, and you get all the access to all those games, all the Microsoft games. You don't have to pay for it. It's all right there through the Game Pass. But if you get those gift cards and then add it onto your account so that you can stack them, I don't think I have to pay for my Game Pass for another 2 years because of the cards that I got. I just put them on my the gift cards on my Microsoft account, and then it'll just deduct every time it renews. And we're going into the holidays again. As much as this is going to suck because of tariffs, because the economy is shit, everything's going to get super expensive around the holidays. Nintendo priced themselves out from the jump, not even because of the tariffs like Xbox is doing or they're claiming. They out at the gate were starting their shit at $500, and their new price point for their games was $80 for first party franchises for their system. That's a family thing, like we've said. That's going to crash and burn for holiday sales. At least I'm hoping, because it's the only way things are going to course correct with this stuff. But the same thing with here. You get those gift cards, you stack them up. That'll outlast the PC stuff. Will outlast the Xbox actual hardware stuff. You won't need the consoles anymore.
Well, I mean, even now they're doing cloud-based gaming using their Azure system, and you can get a Samsung TV that has the ability to play stuff through cloud gaming Game Pass.
I think Google
just buy yourself a 50 controller and you're good to go.
Google does it too. And if I'm reading that right, sometimes you open up your Netflix and at the top there is a whole gaming thing.
Oh, there is a bunch of games. Yeah, you can just play. It's like almost like cell phone games based in there. So yeah, it's an interesting and terrible move. They say it's because of the macroeconomic climate that's just saying tariffs. Who knows? This is on the heels of they just announced the pricing on the new handheld system that they put out. They're going to put out the Asus and the ROG Ally and things like that. That's going to be almost $1,000 for a handheld Xbox system. And I'm like,
ridiculous. No. Pal, Chris Subdivisions is in the chat there. The Xbox, what is that?
AFK? I don't know.
I don't know what that is, Chris. I apologize. The Xbox, whatever, now merged with Game Pass, so PC players can play like MLB The Show, and reasons that they can jack the rates. Yeah, but that's physical consoles. Unless you're a kid, and even kid doesn't need a physical console anymore. It's weird that we grew up with all of this stuff, and now we're at a time frame where you look at a console and you go, well, that's kind of archaic. You see the limitations of a console before you even play anything. It's like, well, if I played this on my PC, it'd be a lot better because, you get constant updates. You get constant, you could stream it to platforms if you're going to play with people, whether you're doing like Twitch or Kick or something, or just even to Discord, where you can have all your friends in the room while you're all playing the game together. That has elevated the gaming experience than sitting there by yourself playing against the computer or playing against some random person online. Like if I imagine like the golf games and MLB and NFL stuff, you can play against the computer, or you could be online playing against people, but you don't know who that is. But if you've got Discord and the PC stuff, you could, like you and I play games now and then, and we're in game, but we're not talking in game. We're in Discord. So I was
gonna say, yeah, we use Discord because, like, sometimes we have people hanging out in there that aren't playing with us, but we can share our screen. We can just chat and hang out, and some of us are there, and it's
the days of sitting there with those bulky headsets with the mouthpiece coming around, that it's over. You don't need to do that anymore. No. You're raising the price twice for an antiquated console system. They're saying it's out of necessity, and it might be on their end, but you lose so much consumer confidence with that shit, because Microsoft doesn't have the best track record with buying all these studios and then gutting them. And then was it Bethesda? Are they owned by Microsoft?
Yes.
They had a lot of shit during the Charlie Kirk stuff, because there was people at Bethesda that was posting online about his thing. Right. So there's a whole bunch of different situations that are very problematic for Microsoft right now, and raising prices on anything just because the economy's bad, and I guess they have to, but it's still not a good look publicly. The public perception is, this is a shit company. Maybe I'll get a PlayStation, or maybe I'll just go to PC and do all this stuff. I can't imagine going back to a console at this point. Well, yeah, and thankfully I got mine, and I'm set. Like, I don't think there's really not anything else that I need to deal with anymore, and I can't see myself spending $1,000 on a new system if it ever comes to fruition. I can spend $1,000 on a new. I can buy 2 PCs at this point. Well, on a PC, but also like on a new video graphics card, like the more high end stuff with the power supply. Like I did it like 2 years ago. I got the new graphics card, and it needed a new power supply because more power, and put in there. And I got it for under $1,000, but still, that was worth the money to me to get that than going to buy a console. It's crazy. I just saw someone goes, we were living in simpler times, and it was an ad for the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation 1, and the highest price was $149. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh God. The good old days when the system's like, oh my God, if that system's $200, you better get a really kick-ass game with that system as you buy it. And now you don't even get we get Wii Sports. Yeah, you get nothing. And I think that was the last one, because the Switch doesn't, unless you buy a specific promoted bundle, Switch doesn't come with a game. Nope. Your Xbox system doesn't come with a game. PlayStation doesn't come with, nothing comes with a game anymore. No, it's usually like either a demo of something, but yeah, you don't get a game. You don't like original Nintendo. Mine came with a Duck Hunt Mario, and then if you were lucky enough to get the robot, Robbie the Robot system, you got the robot one. I didn't get Rob the Robot was only like the first year. I didn't get my Nintendo until whenever Zelda came out, which was like a year or two after Mario. Yeah, I was able to get the Zelda Duck Hunt bundle, and then I got the gold cartridge. Zelda. I remember the first pack I got was still play it on this thing. It had Mario, it had Duck Hunt, and it had Track and Field. It came with the pad. I love the pad. I used to get down on our hands and knees. Where I grew up, I was on the second floor, and I learned that you don't run on the pad anymore. You just go in there and you go like this with your fists right there to run and jump and do all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And after like a day or two, not my dad, my mom took the thing away. And she took it and she's like, this is going back. Went and got me the other bundle, which this really sucked because instead of it had Mario, Duck Hunt, Track and Field. She took that back, got me the bundle that just had Super Mario and Duck Hunt. Mm-hmm. But this one, the gun was orange. I didn't have the safety gun. I didn't have the gray gun anymore. And I was like, why is this orange? I don't know as a kid. And it was right when they started passing that law that anything with a gun had to be orange. It had to have the orange tips and stuff. So I didn't have the cool gray gun anymore because she didn't like me. I guess I'm knocking shit off the shelves downstairs as I'm doing this on the Track and Field pad. Big Red Tower in the chat. Holy Xbox is crashing and burning. Yeah, it's not a good time for the console stuff. No. Jared in the chat saying MS is going to allow third-party makers to make Xboxes. If they do that, then the prices should be cheaper than doing it in-house. Well, and that's what I was thinking. But this is weird because, like I said, over the years, every time a console ages to a certain point, they slim it up. They'll re-release it, kind of give it a new coat of paint, sell everything at a cheaper price. But yeah, the last year, you've seen price increases on everything. So. Super chat. Chris Subdivisions with $2. Eric is still paying for AOL dial-up. Admit it.
With his Netscape.
I did have Prodigy up until about 4 years ago. I still had the email because it was sold to you. It was sold to SBC Global. Then it was sold to Yahoo, and then finally got rid of it when my dad passed away. I don't know what he was paying for, but he was still paying for his Prodigy email.
Are you serious? Wow.
It was something. It was like $10 a month, and I maybe it was cloud storage, whatever it was. But I immediately canceled that. I go, why are you still using your Prodigy email?
That's so funny. Before we move on, speaking of video games, you want to see my newest Lego build that I did the other night when we were all talking?
No.
Too bad. It's a Genesis controller, and on the back, Sonic the Hedgehog built into it. Very tiny.
You know, your kid's going to need a car in about 2 to 3 years.
And I hope I can.
How are you going to afford that with all this?
We can make a plastic.
And that $2 is going right into your Lego fund. So
I do have a there. You're going to like this one. On Black Friday, you know what comes out?
Why's it got to be black?
Because, whatever.
All right.
Plays basketball better. Star Trek The Next Generation Enterprise is coming out in Lego form. And it's a huge ordeal. There's like 16 minifigs, got Worf and Guinan and all this stuff. And I'm like, God damn it, man. I know. That's going to be my next big one because I've got this set. I've got 2 sets arriving tomorrow. And then I built that one.
What is the Next Generation Enterprise? Is it Enterprise D?
It was the Enterprise D with the removable saucer section because the other Enterprise was more of like a battleship. So they slimmed that thing up.
Right.
And then the Borg fucked it up.
Oh, man. All right, you're giving me something to think about.
All right.
Chris is saying yes, but the point is on your PC example, MLB The Show is not being released for it, so you have to use Game Pass. There is no MLB game on PC. Yeah, that's fine. It's like I'm not looking to buy the game to play it on PC. If I can, there's certain game like Sea of Thieves is owned by Microsoft. Rare is owned by Microsoft, and that's exclusive to Microsoft. I can't go and buy the physical game from anyone else but Microsoft until about a couple years ago. They licensed it to Steam.
Yeah.
So you can get that game through Steam or through Game Pass. That's it. So I don't mind the exclusivity for buying games like that if I'm buying it through their hub, as opposed to buying the physical game, buying this outdated console that I'm going to have to change in a few years, or not, considering the fact that they're just not upgrading their technology anymore for it. I rather do everything online and play everything online. It makes everything so easier because you play your game on the other screen. You can play your music. I watch, shit on YouTube that I got to catch up on, be it like who are these podcasts or Uncle Rico, Tukey, Anthony's show, Tim Dillon's podcast, Rogan, all those things. I can watch all that shit while I'm playing the game. Can't really do that on the console. So why would I ever go back to do all of that stuff? Jared saying, I want a PlayStation for the Wolverine game.
I saw the footage of that.
Looks insanely good. Is it only a PlayStation exclusive?
Yeah, because it's Insomniac. It's the same makers of the Spider-Man games that just came out a couple years ago and so on. So I feel like it's just going to be another button masher type. It looks like they just reskinned Spider-Man with like Wolverine, but it's brutal looking. Like there's blood everywhere. I started playing the trailer. My kid's sitting next to me. He's 9. He's like, "Oh, cool, it's Wolverine." We're sitting there, and there's so much blood. I'm like, do I do the good dad thing and let him watch? Or do the good dad thing and not let him watch?
You're doing the good thing. That one scene where it slows down and his fist with the claws is going through the chin out the guy's head. That sold me. And that's like within the first 10 seconds of the trailer. I said, all right, I'm in. I didn't know it was PlayStation. At some point, we're going to have to get past this exclusivity.
Well, and here's the thing. Spider-Man made its way over to Steam. So at some point, you probably
but that's still not timely enough. Like I understand.
No, it'll be years before that hits Steam.
I know. I understand if you have a game, but you're leaving money on the table, I guess, for this, where you have a game, it's like, oh, it's to sell the PlayStations. Yeah, but only so many people are going to buy a PlayStation for this game. You could sell more of the game. Like give it a 6-month window, 8-month window. Well,
they had to start doing it. Like when he was talking about MLB The Show, that game used to be a PlayStation exclusive. It was done by the Santa Monica studio over in California, and that was PlayStation exclusive for the longest time. And then they said, let's go ahead and put it out. So it came to Xbox, it came to Game Pass, and for the last, I think 3, maybe even 4 years, it's been on Microsoft and Steam and all this stuff.
Yeah, but you can't go years anymore. Like, things move too fast for this shit. Like, it's not like, well, if you want to watch this TV show, you have to get Netflix, or if you want to watch this movie, it's only going to be on HBO Max, because any movie you can buy it on demand through iTunes, through Prime, through other places like that. But if you want to stream it, you have to go to a specific place to do it. The video games, you can't keep doing this. I hate the term gatekeeping, but you can't do that kind of gatekeeping thing where it's like, oh, it's our thing. We're gonna help. You got to come here and play it. Right. But if you open it up that more people can access the game, you'll get more money for the game. Try to make your money back in the 6 to 8 months. I get it. Do that. That's fine. But after that 8-month window, open it up to cross platforms, to Steam, to those kind of places where people can get access to the game. You'll get more people on there, and you'll have a better churn for the game, as opposed to like, well, this game was for 2 years, it was on here. Now we're going to open it up to Xbox. Okay. But all the people that were playing heavily on PlayStation kind of got tired of it and they left. They moved on to other games. If you watch people on Twitch, they're all just playing the next game that some person found and go, oh, this is the next game. Now you see all the Twitch players all playing that same game at the same time.
Shark Dentist.
No, we're going to make that a thing. Is it out yet?
I just saw an advertisement on Twitter the other day, and it's still like coming soon. I'm like, give me the goddamn Shark Dentist.
I think it's on my way.
I look at it like every other day.
But yeah, open those things up and let people let them touch those things, as Celine Dion said during the Katrina hurricane. Woodpit, their next console is going to be PC. Yeah, that's exactly where everything's going. Gittle's saying, now that I have a PC, I'm never getting a console again. No need. The only console I have is my Switch, and I didn't even buy the second one because it's not cost effective, and there's not enough on the Switch 2 to warrant me getting it yet.
I was playing the new Mario Kart World the other night, and I was just absolutely getting my ass handed to me. Like, this game, for some reason, they've made this new Mario Kart like impossible to win. So I was playing online with a bunch of Japanese kids and just placing 15th, 16th, 17th every time. I'm like, you sons of bad. Yeah,
I've had that happen. I'm having a great time doing it. Where you're playing certain games, and if you're up too late, if it's like 5 a.m.,
oh god, your eyes are watering.
You go, oh shit! All the Asian people are up. I'm going to go to bed.
It's like, I can't read any of these names.
Seeing the names, yeah, you start.
Don't touch it.
You start seeing the names pop up, and you go, "There's no way I'm going to win." Right now. It's not even going to be fun to compete. I'm just going to go to bed. Have fun, Australia. Have fun, Asia. I'll come back on.
We used to do that with Sea of Thieves, where we'd be playing for a while, and then all of a sudden you can tell there was that shift where like no one was playing. We'd be server hopping constantly, and then next thing you know, we're coming up on a boat full of Australians, and we're like, well, we're done. They're war weak.
They're not even that good. But you just know by the time and that they're around and they're up and running. You're like, all right.
Right. I know.
Have a good night, you guys. We'll see you later. We'll play another time.
Well, we have Disney raising prices, Xbox raising prices.
Hold on.
N64 didn't come with a game?
And he says his didn't come with a game, Bagsley.
I thought it was Mario 64.
Yeah, mine came with 64. So
maybe it was like a special bundle, maybe.
Let's see. It's here. Jared's saying there's a console. Their console is a PC now, some components, but the Xbox OS is coming. It's too little too late at this point. I mean, maybe if it's a bit more cost effective, people will get that. Maybe. But overall, if you're smart, if you've been playing games for as long as all of us here have, and not just on the show, but I mean, assuming you guys in the audience, video games have been around since the 70s. You've all pretty much wised up to the fact that with the exception of some sports games, it's just better to play everything on a PC. I know so many people that play golf and love golf. They all will play on a PC. They wouldn't be caught dead on a console anymore playing that stuff. And they go, why? It doesn't matter. The graphics will always be better on a PC. Everything gets updated a lot faster for the PC. And it's just easier because you can do whatever you want. You could have the Razer controller. You could have a regular handheld controller. You want to do mouse and keyboard. There's different ways to play and a better environment and experience for playing on the PC.
Yeah.
Chris is saying the consoles are using modified PC hardware now. The games are way stronger. Gone are the days of Nintendo, baseball, Duck Hunt, etc., where you would have played on a Commodore. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No need to have that kind of mindset for all of this stuff anymore. Oh, look at that. Jared the Geek, $5 in the super chats. Lego Enterprise Fund. That's daddy's money. Oh, Am I daddy or are you daddy?
Oh, that's daddy's money.
Oh, that's
for
right.
Rob.
Yeah. Do you have that drop in the system there?
We need to do that. No, we don't have that.
Okay, we got to isolate that. Make sure we make a note to isolate that there. Jared also saying Microsoft is getting rid of exclusives as well.
Some of them, yeah. Because we just saw Gears of War remaster make its way over to Steam and PlayStation. So yeah, it's the lines are blurring. There's no more console wars. Let's just put everything on a PC.
You don't need to bother with all that stuff. Saying Helldivers just hit Xbox recently. Yeah, I see people on Twitch all the time. I have a good buddy of mine that he plays it. He plays Dune, the Dune game, which looks great. I have no interest in playing it. It looks great. Mm-hmm. And he plays Helldivers all the time. And every time he's online and I see who he's playing with, I have a preset thing that I hit a button and it just screams in there. And it's like, you goddamn kids and you're hell diving. And it always interrupts. He's in the middle of something and he dies and he'll go, God damn it, E-Rock. And I was because he sees it and he laughs, and fun is had by all. Backley saying mine was just a Nintendo 64. Had to buy, dude. WCW versus NWO was a fantastic game.
I love that game.
You pick your wrestlers, and it's even though you had your favorites, sometimes you were born like, you know what, I'm gonna play as Rey Mysterio today. I'll do that and fight Goldberg and see how that
big
goes.
show.
Yeah.
Speaking of wrestling, that's probably the last time that was going to be in at all affordable.
Yeah.
Do you hear about the pricing for WrestleMania for next year?
Oh, yes. Let's bring up the chart, shall we? Here we go. You know what? Maybe you have to do it. Well, do it big. That way so everyone can see it. Okay. Look at this ridiculousness. Now, this is next year, not the one they announced in Saudi Arabia, which is 2 years from now. This is next year's. They're doing it again in Las Vegas because they got paid a ton of money to keep it in Las Vegas.
Well, Vegas is trying to see if they can just make it annual. I'm like, why would you make it that way?
But you also have Saudi Arabia trying to do the same thing. So look at the price scale here. Now, at the top, $20,000 plus. It's this little orange area around the center of the map there where the ring is. And so that's probably like 2-3 rows at most from each side of the ring. $20,000 plus for those tickets. Now that's for 2 nights because WrestleMania is 2 nights. So if you buy those tickets, you have them for Saturday and you have them for Sunday. That's not worth 2 nights.
I was going to say, no, like, you know, I like going to things. $20,000. No,
not worth it at all. And then just around that, $10,000 plus for the 2 nights. This is insane. Now, somebody from TKO, we talked about this briefly last week, had put out in a statement that they were, it was after the Saudi Arabia stuff was announced, that they're looking to increase the ticket sale prices because, and they quoted this, back when Vince McMahon was running WWE, his price points were mostly there to make it family affordable to come to their events. Not realizing that there's so much money being left off the table or left on the table, sorry. So that they were going to be making adjustments to drastically increase value and ticket sale prices for their premium events. This ensures you will not see kids at these events ever again. And that
you won't see them ringside for sure.
That is one of the main things with WWE, because you see off-air clips when they go to commercial. You see random phone videos of like wrestlers breaking character if they're a bad guy or whatever the angle is, and they see a little kid. It might be a special needs kid, might be a baby, might be whoever, and they're holding a sign or they're wearing all the merchandise for that wrestler. When it goes dark or whatever, they walk over there. They pat the kid or they go, oh, like that. They do something they interact with the kids to give the value of they need to keep coming back so that the family has a good time. This takes it away because all these things are going to be just like concerts, corporate seating that you're going to get tickets from, not like radio station giveaways, but from corporations are going to buy these seats so that their executives and their families can go to all these things. Just because, it's a big social moment, for them.
Networking, social stuff, like it's a business transaction and tax write-off.
They've got ads all over the mats during the matches. It's really annoying, and it's kind of gross looking. Actually, they're doing exactly what they did for UFC. The problem well, one of many problems. At least with UFC, you have a certain type of audience that goes to UFC. You don't have families going to UFC. You don't have an abundance of kids at UFC. You have tons of families and tons of kids at WWE events. You take that all away, that families can't afford to go to these things, your kids might stop watching wrestling. You won't have kids at school talking about wrestling anymore, buying the figure. That's where it all came from. Kids being involved with it, buying the toys, talking about the pay-per-view or Raw the next day at school. You're eliminating a lot of that by pricing them out. This is going to be a disaster. If this succeeds, I will be shocked and saddened for all of us that it's like, because it's not just WWE here, even though we're talking about this, but we've talked about the fact, and we'll get to Live Nation in a second, what Live Nation does to price and Ticketmaster to price people out of going to concerts. NFL and NBA having seat licenses just to buy. You're paying for the right to buy tickets. And that payment for those licenses does not include the tickets. So you're paying for the right to go and purchase things, plus all the other fees, plus everything else. The food at all the stadiums are super expensive, even though like they're all up, boutique or gourmet. They upscaled a lot in these stadiums. But it's not worth going for ballpark food anymore. Hot dogs, popcorn, any of that kind of stuff to watch a sporting event.
I think I spent almost $10 on one Dasani water in an aluminum bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, just like they did with the Budweiser bottles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be a disaster. And this is something that relies heavily on kids and on families. And you're essentially telling them, fuck off, you're not that important. We're selling everything to the highest bidder. And that's what we're going to do going forward. I have a feeling within a couple of years, TKO is just going to sell off WWE to the Saudis. Because the amount of money and interest they're investing in all this stuff,
right?
They're paying millions of dollars. They paid so much money to get WrestleMania there next year, in 2 years. There's now hearsay that they're spending millions of dollars to get wrestlers to come out of retirement because the Saudis want them to perform there. There's talk about how much money, there's millions of dollars to get The Rock to headline WrestleMania in 2 years. Maybe Stone Cold, maybe Undertaker comes back. Their bank books are endless to throw all of this shit in there because that's what they want to see. It's going to become a minstrel show. A circus, if you will. We come in and says like, I'll throw money at you, come and you dance. That's all it's going to be.
Right.
And you're doing it in an area where, women, women are treated terribly there, but the women wrestlers have to be covered head to toe. They're not going to want to willingly perform there anymore. You won't see many women's matches going on in WWE events if it's always in Saudi Arabia. And that brings in a lot of people. People like seeing a lot of the female wrestlers for their outfits. They're hot, or, they can do some shit that the guys can't do. Like there's all these different sales appeal to having the women wrestling there. I'm not spending $20,000 to go to, so I'm not going to WWE ever again now.
I mean, you can't. I mean, you can probably do one of these little house shows or, one of these like local things, but I mean, you're not going to a big named event like WrestleMania, SummerSlam. You're not going to do any of that kind of stuff.
Nope. Not happening.
PLEs. What are they calling them? Yeah.
Yeah. Paid premium live events.
Well, that's a premium,
but pay-per-view is owned by a family that thing doesn't exist anymore. So WWE is going the same way of everybody else. We had mentioned Live Nation. What is Live Nation doing?
So let me see. What did I post that thing here? So Live Nation, basically, the guy who runs Live Nation came out and basically said, we're actually underpricing tickets. We should be charging more for these events and more for these concerts and more for these festivals and things like that. And we're going to look into these kinds of things to see if we can like maximize our, experience and things like that. I'm sitting there going, you guys already tack on an outrageous amount of fees. You guys already tack on.
If you can even buy them through Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Half the time
it's frozen.
You're waiting in a virtual queue.
Mm-hmm.
it's like like they pen you off. You're in a room and you're waiting for that room to be allowed to go and buy tickets. If you can even do that. Most of their tickets go to brokers, StubHub, things like that. And then you're paying more prices, higher prices on top of what all the other fucking fees they already threw on top of this.
Yeah. So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's such a tone deaf way to do that. And it just reminds me of the WrestleMania stuff. Like the guy from TKO saying, oh yeah, no, we can charge more and we're going to.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ugh. So that's why I'm fine with going to these shows. But when you were like last year, you were like, not at Nine Inch Nails, you're like, are you in this particular section? I was like, no, I can't afford to do that experience. Not for the amount of shows. Like, I'm going to try to get the cheapest I can get. I'll sit as far as I have to. Like, the experience is being there live. I don't need to be up on stage. You know what I mean? At some point, though, like if I'm at it, like, you know, with WrestleMania, you're going to spend $800 for literally top of the stadium. You can't see these guys wrestling. Half the time you're watching the Jumbotron, you might as well stay home.
Yeah, and if it's those certain stadiums that have like the Dallas Stadium has a giant HD screen down there, you're not seeing anywhere past that point. Yeah. So not going to happen. Tom was saying at the WWE thing, if you look in the lower right, these prices might and will even be higher because of Ticketmaster.
Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Okay, so when I saw his comment, so I brought this up. So that lower level, right by the ring, right on the corner, one seat, you might not be able to see it right away, $32,000 on Ticketmaster. One seat, 2 nights. I can go get a Hyundai for this. You know what I mean? I'm going to go get a car.
Eric T in the chat saying, forget tickets. The NBA commissioner straight up acknowledged that a good percentage of people won't even be able to watch games anymore. And that's okay now. They don't care. It's like, well, somebody just like trying to get a job somewhere and like, well, that job's only worth this. Well, I have better skills than that. We don't care. Somebody will do the job for that price, and we don't care who's in there doing that. That's the mentality now going forward. It's like, well, you can't afford that? Well, I don't give a shit. Somebody will pay that price, and that's all we care about is that somebody buys it.
You know who's not paying premium prices for YouTube? Preston C in the chat saying, you guys should be able to afford it. I've been interrupted at least 3 times with commercials so far, and every once in a while one will pop up and block
I
the
don't
chat.
know why that... I'll look into that. I had somebody else telling me that, and he goes, you have commercials popping up. We're not doing that. Like, that's not us.
I think it's YouTube.
I'm sure. He was on YouTube, right? Can you bring his thing back?
Yeah,
up?
he's on YouTube.
Okay, so it's not the Twitch. I know Twitch does something like that too. Somebody told me there's a Twitch something in the Twitch dashboard where I can control the breaks, but I can't do that while doing this and all that other stuff. But I'll look into the YouTube thing and see what it is they're doing. Is it that bad? The ads coming in?
I pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't know. I haven't seen any pop up on me though. Because I'll monitor.
For those of you in the chat, if you're watching without YouTube Premium, let me know. See if you can ballpark it, like what the intervals are for this thing, and I'll see what it is I can do with all of that. Let's see what's there. Jared saying it's cheaper for someone to fly to France to see Taylor Swift and stay for almost a week than it is to buy tickets in the United States. Yeah, it seems a lot of things are getting penalized because we're in the United States because we had it forever. Now they're like, fuck that. You know, if you want to see this stuff, you got to pay more. We want to start making it a big global thing, and that's fine. Do all of that stuff. But this is the core for entertainment in the world is the United States.
Mm-hmm.
This is your core group for football, for baseball, the Olympics, even though that's an international thing. A lot of Americans travel around the world to go to the Olympics, wrestling, concerts, all of that stuff there. A lot of it's coming from America. You're penalizing the people that are paying the majority of your fees and everything else. It's sickening.
Well, I was looking into taking the kids to one of the Disney parks. I can go to Disneyland, which is right next state over, but even going to Disneyland with 2 kids, and all this stuff, pricing out a hotel gets expensive. So then I thought, okay, well, let's just make it bigger and go to Disney World. It's actually cheaper for us to fly to France, like this guy was saying, and go to Disney World or Disneyland Paris for a cheaper amount of money.
Yeah.
And stay a week than it would be to go to Florida from Arizona and stay the same amount of time. It's ridiculous at this point.
Gail's saying the commercials are long too. Okay. And are they skippable? Can you hit the skip? Let me know. So. I'll go through. I got to play with that dashboard thing and see. I'll go through and see what adjustments we can make for that. I apologize. Andrew's saying, did we talk about it? No, it's coming up in a few minutes. We're going to get to that stuff there. Yeah, Jared got the same on YouTube. People are seeing commercials. You can skip them after a couple. Okay, good. So it's not like it locks you in for all that stuff. Gail's saying the ad breaks on Twitch are like 3 minutes. Yeah, that I don't think I can control at all.
Isn't it crazy though? Like 3 minutes is a long time for things. Like I'm watching HBO Max. I don't pay for the non-commercial one. So like I'm watching Newsroom right now, and like every now and then a 2-minute commercial comes up, and I sit there and audibly sigh that I have to wait 2 minutes.
I have that I had that with Peacock.
Yeah, so I do that too.
If you go back and watch the one when they were on the pay-per-views for WWE, were on Peacock still. I used to not watch them live. I'd wait for the event to be done, and then I would go back and be able to skim through what I wanted. As they separate in there, the ads are inserted into the replay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying for, but I guess I'm not paying for the top thing for the ads, or some live events still have commercials or whatever. If it's the replay of a live event, should not have the commercials in there anymore.
I'm not gonna lie. Having the commercials interrupt while you're watching Alien Earth jarringly takes you out of the suspense of what you're watching.
Are you watching it on television as it airs?
HBO.
It's on
not
FX,
HBO, not HBO. Hulu. So it's a Hulu streaming. So like I don't pay for the Disney Plus Hulu bundle that has no commercials. So Disney doesn't get the commercials, but Hulu does. And so since that's on Hulu, I'm sitting there watching, the suspense is going, and then all of a sudden it's a fucking like Summer's Eve commercial. I'm like, God damn it. Like it takes you completely
but your
out of it.
damn it is I got to throw that on my shopping.
Yeah, no, I put it on my pickup list from Walmart.
He yells, God damn it. And he goes, Alexa, add to shopping list. And then adding Summer's Eve to shopping list.
Exactly.
Daddy.
But yeah, it's
did
weird.
I just call you daddy?
Yeah, I programmed them.
Tom from Alberta saying about every 20 minutes on YouTube, I have YouTube and Twitch open, so I bounce back and forth, so the show doesn't get interrupted. Plus, Ian's numbers go.
It's Eric Nagel, which I don't understand because that's not how you spell it. It's Eric Nagel.
No, so that's why I'm like, Ian's numbers go up. Well, good for Ian. Go support Ian. Yeah, fuck Ian. Hey, Jen. Jen Du from the chat says, see, yeah, it's crazy Disney prices, but I don't complain. I stay in my Disney Plus lane. I don't know if you were here earlier when I said, but I called in the height of the cancellation crisis and got an insanely good deal to stay on there for another year. So you'll have to go back and listen to that. Big Red saying, I think WWE's pricing will backfire and there will be a noticeable number of empty seats, though. WWE is also being accused right now of buying tickets for AEW's major pay-per-views.
I've heard of this.
And it's not just like fan hearsay. It's now getting like reputable sports blogs and stuff are starting to pick up on this, that they're buying tickets to make the arena purposely look empty. Now, I don't know if that's illegal because it's commerce. You can buy tickets and decide not to go. I don't know if that means if a company's buying up other tickets, if that is some kind of thing. Would be hilarious if that is proven true. Because I was thinking about that. I'm like, if I had a business and I could do that and they have a televised product, I could buy their seats and make it look like nobody's going to it. I would do that.
So a couple years ago, I think it was back in 2018, 50 Cent did that to Ja Rule. He bought out the first like 3 rows of his like a bunch of concerts to make it look like no one was at his concerts. And when asked about it, he goes, they were just so cheap. And I was just like, you fucking asshole.
You know who does it, but for the right reason? Billy Joel.
Nice.
Every concert, he buys the first few rows by the stage and he's been doing this for decades, apparently. He learned on, he goes, you'd be in the front row. And he's like, and these aren't people laughing, having a good time. It's like some gavant with his mistress or girlfriend there, and they're making out and they're drinking or whatever, and they're not having fun. Like if you look a few rows behind them, all the people are dancing, going crazy, singing along with the songs.
Right.
So he learned early on, he goes, I don't want these seats bought by businesses filling it in with their people, or extremely wealthy people who are buying these tickets, and that fans can't come to this thing. So he buys the front rows around his stage and purposely has his people go out when this people are coming in, settling before the show starts. He has his people go to the people who have seats in the back or in the higher ups. He used to do, it's very well known. He did it at his Madison Square Garden residency. If you were up in the nosebleeds, if you were behind the stage and some equipment was blocking parts of the view, go up there and his people would chat up the people who are there and give them front row tickets.
That's cool.
That's when you should do that. That's when you buy up all the seats and do all that stuff. But again, if it's my competition, I would buy up all the seats to make them look terrible. If that's legal, I would do that. Or I'd buy the seats and put our plants in there wearing our merchandise in their TV views on purpose just to do all of that. So I applaud WWE if they are actually doing that. That's hilarious. But who knows? I can't say that they want to do that or not. All right. We're going to move on in a moment here, but I'm just catching up with the chat about the commercial break stuff. The commercials on Hulu would not be bad if they didn't use the same 3 ads on every show at every break.
Yeah, it's whatever drug is trying to cure, your eczema or something like that. And then you get to hear, don't take it if you're allergic to it. I was like, well, no shit.
Eric T in the chat. I've been tuned into the show for 30 minutes on YouTube. Haven't had a commercial yet, but Twitch is awful. Yeah. What did Jordan say? The YouTube Premium will prevent you from getting the commercials. But also, Tom's saying if you subscribe to that is true. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you don't get any ads. So if you want, like and subscribe, get a membership to the channel. You'll get no ads then. That's fantastic.
I was going to say, use your Amazon subscription. I say it at the end of every show.
If you're on Twitch,
on Twitch, do it that way.
You get a monthly subscription every month. One that you can use towards a Twitch subscriber. So if you have Amazon, an Amazon subscription, go to Twitch on the bottom there where you can subscribe to our channel. There's a box that you can check that says use premiums. Amazon Prime subscription. Click that. Costs you nothing because it already comes with your Amazon subscription, and you get us for free. So that would be great if you could do all of that. HBO Max, Bagsley in the chat said HBO Max right. 6 pharmaceutical ads. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, it's all pharmaceutical ads. It's weird.
I didn't know about the Billy Joel things. Yeah, I knew about that forever. But if you, we'll talk about it in segment 2. I watched his documentary that's on HBO Max. He talks about it in there too. That he does that all the time. He's been doing it for decades because he doesn't want record label people. He doesn't want executives. He doesn't want corporate people in those seats. He wants people that are going to be singing along, dancing, spilling their beer, like putting their beers on the edge of the stage. Like that. He loves that. He's like, people just resting their food and their drinks on the stage with it. He loves all that stuff. So
that's cool.
Good on him. Yes, Bartholomew, that is pretty awesome of him. There was a 3-month period a decade ago where the only commercials I'd see on Hulu was a 90-second diabetes ad every single break. It was excruciating. Yeah, that would be annoying. Oh, and then a quick mention. Google had to admit legally that yes, they were indeed banning YouTube accounts during the Biden administration era under the request of the Biden administration. So they have to reassess things, and they're going to be reinstating a lot of accounts. I'm guessing everybody gets their accounts banned for some reason, but I'm guessing that if you got banned for copyright stuff, or you got banned for playing something that had some accidental nudity, I don't think you're getting your account back.
Probably not, no.
But I think this is more of the people that were either banned for political conversations or talking about the time of the vid.
Yeah, it's just the Gina Carano's of the internet.
Yeah, talking about the vid, about the handling of the vid, the medications involved with that. I think it's more along those lines, and political speech issues or content. I think those are the ones that are going to get their accounts restored. And you never know. It could. I mean, if they legally have to do that, then I applaud that this got revealed and those accounts have to come back. But give it time. People do dumb shit, and then maybe they did rightfully need to be suspended, and they'll get their accounts blown up because they violated something else. Who knows? But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that were just, venting their mind or their politics, whatever, and got their stuff taken down. That's horrible. I mean, you think it's horrible now with the current FCC and the current administration putting pressure on Paramount, on ABC to take shows down that they don't agree with, whatever. It's just as bad. And then finding out that the Biden administration was doing the same thing for YouTube people online because more people were going to YouTube to watch shit than on television. Both of them are wrong. Both are wrong.
Everyone sucks.
Everyone sucks. I know that everything sucks, and this is going to be the last time you hear me complain. That's not true, but that is a good Real Big Fish song there. Eric T, I got to give Kumi credit for having avoided a YouTube ban. I'm sure you could take... yes and no. Ant is pretty smart with his words, but there were plenty of times you can find older videos on his YouTube channel. I would edit out certain things, and all it was just dropping the audio. So if he said certain things, I dropped the audio out. You knew what he was saying, but there was a dropout. I was never a fan of all my time in radio when they would have to censor stuff like best ofs or whatever, and they'd put a beep.
Oh, I hate the beep.
Like that was kind of cool and edgy and creative in the 80s. But when you hear a beep, it's annoying, it's distracting, and takes you out of listening to whatever the content is. But I always did for Opie and Anthony stuff. I mean, I didn't have to on satellite, but for the CBS stuff, the terrestrial syndication stuff, I would drop out if somebody accidentally cursed or said something that was against FCC guideline. I would drop it out. So you would hear like a quick little dead space and going on there. Because more times than not, at least from my understanding, from my hypothesis, if you will, from the things I tested out, more people didn't notice that I dropped audio out than if I beeped something.
Yeah, it's less jarring,
less noticeable, and it's less jarring as you're listening to it. You might notice, you go, why is it dropping out? Oh, I wonder, what did he say that they had to cut out of it? That's fine. But if you're listening casually, like while you're working or in the car, you're commuting somewhere, you're less likely to notice the dropout, and it's not going to bother you, like Jordan just said. That was always my philosophy for editing things. I would try to do that. Or if I could creatively cut that portion of the conversation out and glue it to another portion of the conversation, and it still made sense, and that didn't need to be there, I would do that too. Get creative around it. It's not cutting information that's vital or censoring people's speech. It's going against the guidelines of broadcasting that you have to. I would do all of that shit. So yeah, on Anthony's thing, when YouTube started getting really bad, I would drop certain things out of there. And I remember 1 or 2 times he would call yelling at me. He goes, "Let's just stay here and you're dropping this out." I'm like, yeah, I did it. Why? Because of YouTube. Well, fuck YouTube. I understand, but I don't want your channel to get kicked off. And I thought that was the smart move. I didn't apologize for doing what I did. I said, I'm sorry you got upset about it. I'll put it back up. It's his channel. I'll put certain things back up. Other times I'd say, if you put that up there, you're going to lose your monetization. If you put that up there, you might lose the channel because of that stuff. He wasn't happy to hear that, but I wasn't a yes guy. I was there to work and make sure everything was protected. That I would do. So yeah. And again, give him credit too. He's good at navigating those things of what can go on online and what can't. So Jared the Geek, banning the accounts was wrong versus other opinions. Yeah. We're finding that this goes back, who knows? I mean, it could go past the first Trump administration. It could go back into the second term of the Obama administration. If they just revealing this now with the Biden thing, it could go back 20 years from when YouTube started, that administrations were all leaning on social media stuff to censor things. I'm sure it is. I'm not even doubting it. It's just what will be revealed and what won't is what I'm questioning.
I mean, President Lincoln tried to ban Twitter. You can quote me.
Yes, and white women for some reason. He was really for the patriarchy. Big Red Tower. A beep can also confuse some volume normalization plugins, so the beep can be 20 times louder. Well, that's also the problem with editors too. They'll just put it in there, they'll hit a certain thing, and they don't adjust they just put it in there so you see the little bar in the editor that shows the beep, but they don't listen to it and go, I could drop this another 10 decibels. It makes the point and it doesn't distract you. People are very lazy with editing because it takes a lot of time to do editing. So when you see videos that are really well done, that's great. If you listen to videos that look good, I have a problem that I can pick this up. If I have my headphones on, I can tell when they didn't mix the audio into another clip the right way. Mm-hmm. You hear like a harsh cut up. I just hit myself with the fucking microphone. I'm an idiot. You can clip that too. Like you can hear a harsh edit going into a pre-recorded clip or something like that instead of blending it in and making it sound smooth. That takes time, that takes effort, and takes creativity. And a lot of people don't do that. They do that slam editing where it's cut out and done. So Lincoln tried to ban guns in theaters. I know, right? Where was those protests and those outrages for all of that stuff? I prefer the awkward dubs that they do for movies on TV. Well, that was, that they wouldn't do beeps and they wouldn't do dropouts. They would do what they call ADR, and they would have people, if they could get the actor or actress to do it, great. If they couldn't, they got people who sounded like those actors and actresses. We used to do this bit early on. It might be on YouTube around 2004, 2005 on Opie and Anthony. And we did a whole big series of television edits and how terrible they were. One of the worst TV edits was watching Die Hard on broadcast television.
Oh, Die Hard was rough. I've seen some of these.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Falcon. And you go,
so
what
bad.
doesn't even make sense? If you just said yippee-ki-yay, and then it was that, but you still heard the music, that's fine. But some of the shit that they would put in there, and you were like, this is terrible. I should find that old bit. Mr. Falcon. It was I thought it was Mother Falcon. Maybe it was Mr. Falcon. I don't remember specifically, but yeah, if you can find the O&A TV edits segments that we did, hilariously awful how terrible those TV edits were. But
yeah, TV edits
again, that's just slam editing. That's cheap and lazy instead of being creative. And what is this one here? It's what bit, dude? The Casino De Niro voiceover was there's a television version of Casino?
Like, why would they do those things?
Every time they whip a gun, it just cuts to the next scene. Like, you never saw any shootings. You never saw Pesci. That guy, that scene in the bar where the guy goes, oh, here's your pencil, and goes,
it's 30 minutes long.
You don't see Pesci leave over and jam the pencil into the guy's neck. It's all of a sudden, Pesci's just in the car. It's like, can you believe that guy? It's like, what happened with the pencil? We missed 10 minutes of something really fantastic in that movie. All right. Anything else, or is that it?
No, I think that's it.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, segment 2, television, movies, streaming updates, all the things that are fit to print. We'll be right back.
More, it's Eric Nagel.
It's Eric Nagel.
Next.